Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to KevinandFred.com. He's Kevin. I'm Fred.
This is the .com.
Thanks for joining us. .com's still here with us today. So, hey, I hope you watched Monday's episode. If you didn't, I want to encourage you to go back because I'm doing something unique on the blog here this week. I'm actually giving you a teaching that I taught at our church recently, but it has a complete purpose. So, for those of you that hear church and get turned off or hear God and turned off,
yeah, get over yourself.
Just
for a second.
Get over yourself. Unless you found the end of the universe, it continues to go, which means there's something bigger out there than you are. So, get over it. You ever thought about that? Like, there's not like a Berlin Wall that stops the universe. Like, it actually has no end. So there has to be something bigger than us on this planet. I don't care what you attribute it to, but there has to be something bigger.
I won't even get started on
You won't go there? Okay.
I'll make fun of people.
So I talked on Monday about how if you argue for your limitations, you get to keep them. And talked about the story of Moses. So I want to fast forward in the story of Moses a little bit. And I want to talk around how do we see ourselves, because how we see ourselves is also a reflection of our limitations. Okay,
right.
So like the view we have on ourselves. And so later in this is not Exodus anymore. This is now Numbers chapter 13. I am going to read this scripture, and the reason I'm going to read it is because it's a story, and you need to hear the story. I'm going to point out a couple things. But what's really interesting is that what's going on right now is that God's promised Moses and all these people, hey, this land is yours. You just need to go take it. Okay, and so. Moses sends Caleb and some other spies into the land to go check it out. Okay, right. So listen to Caleb and the other spies' thought process and mindset as they come back with their report of the land that they're supposed to go take.
Okay, we're listening to thought process and mindset.
Thought process and mindset. So Caleb quieted the people before Moses and said, "Let us go up at once and take possession, for we are well able to overcome it." So Caleb starts out, "Let us go up at once and take possession, for we're well able to overcome it." That's all Caleb says in this. I want you to hear that. Hear how short that is, how confident he is. Let us go up at once. But the men who had gone up with him said, "We're not able to go up against the people, for they are stronger than we are." And they gave the children of Israel a bad report of the land which they had spied out, saying, "The land through which we have gone as spies is a land that devours its inhabitants, and all the people whom we saw in it are men of great stature. There we saw the giants, the descendants of Anak, and we were like grasshoppers in our own sight, and so we were in their sight. And we were like grasshoppers in our own sight." So I had two revelations here. The obvious one is that, okay, Caleb saw the same situation very differently than all the spies.
He looked at the exact same situation.
He did. And Friday, we're going to talk around fact meaning. That's what we're going to talk around on Friday. Our good friend Brian Clemmer at fact meaning. That's how we're going to end this week's whole conversation. But right now, okay, so that's the obvious. We'll talk about that Friday. But do you hear how short Caleb's statement is? How short a confident person's statement is? And did you hear the long, whiny, detailed description of the people who thought it wasn't possible? And it got me thinking, how true is that? The whiners and victims of the world always have all this junk to say. They can go on and on about how it won't work, why it hasn't worked in the past, all the limiting thoughts. But a confident person who says we can do it, what more do you say than we can do it? We are well able to overcome.
Well, how is that any different than when Gary Keller says, successful people make success look easy, and non-successful people make success look difficult?
It's no different. It absolutely is the same concept.
It's the exact same concept. How different is it than you and I? Okay, so this blog started out as Short Sale Power Hour years and years ago.
Yep.
Where you and I started going, hey guys, there's a million different reasons why short sales won't get approved, but what we're gonna always do is just focus on the one reason why it should get approved.
Absolutely.
There's already 100 reasons why it shouldn't. Let's focus on the one reason why it should. And I don't really think it's much different thinking than that.
I don't know. I love that you brought that Gary Keller quote up because you know what? Successful people do make things look simple. They're just, you know what? I'm confident we're going to do this, and that's the positive affirmation.
Just like, I'm going to go about doing my thing. I'm just going to go do it.
Yep, correct. Rather than focus on all the reasons it won't work, I'm going to go find the one reason it will work, and I'm going to do it. And that's what Caleb did. And then all these other spies, it was like they saw the same situation. They were on the same trip with Caleb. But their thing takes up like 7 lines on my notes over here. Caleb's is 1 line.
Let's put that into perspective in the real estate industry real quick.
Okay.
So the market is the market.
Yes.
It's the market, right? we all approach it and go, and we either go, oh my God, I'm a grasshopper, or we go, oh yeah, I can take this down.
Correct.
And about 5% of the people succeed at a very high level, and then there's everyone else. You know what I mean? That some people in different varying degrees of success. Some people, make enough money to pay the bills. Some people do not make enough money to pay
Correct.
the bills. Some people make a little bit more than that, but still aren't knocking it out of the park.
Correct.
And how different is that? We're all talking about the same market. We're all viewing the same market. How many times in the especially when things got quote unquote tough here in Phoenix in 07, 08, 09, were people going, oh my God, it's too tough. I want real estate to go back to the way it used to be. I want it to be easier. And we're going like, what are you talking about? There's so much opportunity. Just go and do it. And how many people do we know? We know quite a few people that just went out and knocked it out of the park in the last few years and still are knocking it out of the park. And the people that are not knocking it out of the park still aren't.
And so
They're still just sitting there.
Here's
going,
one more
this is
thing.
hard.
Yeah, here's one more thing before we wrap up. So the question is, who do you surround yourself with? That's what I talked about on Sunday too. I said, do you have a bunch of friends that when you call them up because you're facing a challenge, they're the ones that are going, oh, you're well able to overcome? Or are they the friends that are like, well, you're right, I had this happen to me, and it happened to me, and the market sucks for me too right now. And I mean, those market sucks conversations are so much longer than the we're not participating in the reduced inventory conversation. Like, there's not much more you can say other than we're not participating. Now, our results through one quarter show we have not participated.
Yes.
But the rest of the market and other people we know have participated, and they're actually, you can find lots of events going on in our market right now where they're all sitting around talking about how horrible it is.
Yes.
And so my point is that situations exist. How do you respond? What do you think about? What are your limiting beliefs? Are you the person who sees success as easy and makes it look simple, or the one that makes everything look hard? And no condemnation either way, but start surrounding yourself with people that make things look easy. I'm not saying they are easy, but they make them look simple, because they're not going to get hung up and focus on all the problems. They're going to press through and just look for the one reason why they can do something.
Exactly.
Those are the people you want in your life, or I hope you want in your life anyway. It's your choice.
Totally your choice.
Come on back on Friday for a really awesome conversation around fact meaning. You're not going to want to miss this one.